Almost 2 weeks ago, at the end of Arsenal's game against Leeds, none other than Kieran Tierney approached Özcan Alioski after the final whistle had been blown. The Scottishman was furious with Alioski's behaviour and had to be held back by both teammates and coaches. This is the type of no-nonsense attitude that Kieran Tierney has lived his life by. His attitude and competitive spirit has always set him apart and is what has propelled him to the highest level. Take a closer look at Tierney's career and you discover it's a story of overcoming adversity and repeatedly bouncing back. Don't ever count Tierney out, others have and have looked foolish for it. In an Arsenal team that have lacked a competitive edge for years, Tierney is exactly that. Having captained both Celtic and Scotland by the age of 21, there is no doubt that he will one day pull on the armband for Arsenal, and maybe, just maybe, it'll be sooner rather than later. When Kieran Tierney was just a boy, his teachers would ask him what he wanted to be when he grew up. He'd always answer, a footballer. The teaching staff, however, always had their doubts. In fact, Tierney's mother, who was a dinner lady at the school, had her co-workers constantly explain to her that her son ought to set more realistic goals. When Tierney turned 15, it seemed as if their doubts might win out. At 15, he was struggling for regular game time in Celtic's academy and was not at all featuring in the Scottish youth teams. He made the bold decision to drop down an age group at Celtic, and he even contemplated following in his father's footsteps by serving an apprenticeship as a roofer. While other players were kept on at Celtic, Tierney was kept waiting. In the end of the season, an offer arrived, but Tierney got just 12 months, while others in his age group were offered 3 years. 12 months was all it took, however. A switch to left back and some physical development saw Tierney's fortunes improve. He soared through the age groups at Celtic, and before long, he was training with the first team. And yet, the day after Tierney's first call-up to the Celtic bench, the high point of his young career, the Scottishman broke his leg and was handed yet another setback. Injuries have always dogged Tierney throughout his career. His desire to partake in the physical side of the game has sometimes placed him in harm's way. The injuries have never stopped the Scottishman, however. Instead, they forged a resilience and determination to get back up after being knocked down. Tierney believes he was always destined to be a Celtic player. He came from a family of obsessive Celtic fans. In fact, his dad and uncle used to drive supporters' buses on behalf of the club. After fighting back from injury, Tierney eventually broke through into the first team in the 2015-2016 season. The young defender played over 30 games that year and displaced the experienced Emilio Izaguirre in the Celtic side. After his breakthrough season, he became the local hero for supporters. He was adored at Celtic, as you'd expect of any former ball boy who would go on to captain the club. Arsenal's first serious approach for Tierney came in the summer of 2016. However, Celtic's new manager, none other than Brendan Rodgers, convinced Tierney his immediate future lay in Glasgow. Even last summer, it was not a straightforward choice for the young defender. It wasn't easy for Tierney to leave his beloved Celtic. Tierney has since admitted the decision gave him sleepless nights, not only because he was leaving his boyhood club, but that he was also leaving his family and home. Tierney arrived at Arsenal with a hip injury and began to impress immediately with his commitment to the rehab program. He made his debut in a cup game in late September and impressed Arsenal fans from the get-go. After a run in the first team through November, Tierney dislocated his shoulder 3 times in 10 minutes against West Ham in December. It was a bitter blow, as once again, Tierney was forced to fight back from injury. He was injured when Mikel Arteta first arrived last December, but Tierney's dedication to come back impressed Arsenal's new manager. Arteta was also impressed that Tierney would actively attend team meetings throughout his absence. Listen to what Arteta had to say about Tierney in a press conference.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with him. Since I joined, just before he started to play games as well, just how he was acting and working on his rehab. Everybody loves him at the club, and it's not a coincidence. He earns that in every single day. The way he treats people, the way he works around the club, the energy that he brings to to the place. And then with his performance, I'm delighted. You know, he's adapted really, really well. He's a player that gives you everything in every session, in every game, and the quality as well that he's adding. He's still so young, still things to improve, obviously, but he's been a great addition to the team.
Since the restart, Tierney has been one of Arsenal's most consistent performers. He's been asked to play in various roles, including both centre-back and left-back. He was crucial in Arsenal's FA Cup run, and it was his passes that led to Aubameyang's second goal against Manchester City, as well as the penalty against Chelsea. His leadership qualities were just as crucial. Tierney always demands more from his teammates, as he leads by example. It's clear the bright lights of London have not affected Tierney, who insists his daily routine revolves around training, recovery, and playing PlayStation. He may have got his big move, but there's no sign that it's getting to his head. During lockdown, he was even spotted delivering food packages in his new neighborhood. His playing style is simple but effective. He's an old-fashioned defender who goes forward but understands, like the top defenders in the world, that defending is his job first. In this Arsenal team, Tierney is the enforcer. Without a doubt, he is destined to wear the armband for Arsenal. To think people had once written him off. Tierney knows what it takes to bounce back. He knows what it takes to prove his doubters wrong. In recent weeks, as Arsenal have struggled, it will take characters like Tierney to help us through this slump. As Arteta faces the first real adversity of his young career, he will be relying on the likes of Tierney to get Arsenal going again. Captain or not, Tierney will be crucial in the next few weeks. If Arsenal can embody Tierney's competitive spirit, they will most definitely bounce back, just like Tierney has throughout his young career.